You know, it's really hard for me to stand here before the camera in front of you because I don't know who I am. And I know that I've had to become exceptionally good at masking. I like to think that I'm being as authentic as I can. I like to believe that this is me, how I'm presenting here, but there's a part of me deep down that doubts that. And it's the part of me that is probably a little bit of an internal tyrant that has always doubted that whatever I incarnate as is not me, couldn't possibly be me. And so I always feel like a fake, a fraud, a phony, performative and inauthentic. And yet me confessing this is authentic. So take that, internal tyrant. But that leads me to what I want to talk about today with you. What I want to talk about. There is a me. There is a me. There is a me. This sense of not having a self, of not knowing who you are, and not just externally, not just with your vocation or your calling or what you want to do in life, but the real felt sense deep down of actually being real. Now, I could delve into the depths of trauma here and talk about the origins of my own depersonalisation and derealisation, the sense of not being real and of reality not being real and where that comes from. And maybe I will touch on it. But wherever it's come from, as with any trauma, it has already happened. We can talk about it to understand it, but we'll only ever understand it with the mind, won't we? We'll never really engage with it in the body if we just keep analysing ad nauseum, ad infinitum. So we are nonetheless left, after all is said and done, after the trauma has happened and hopefully we've escaped those that inflicted upon us. We are still left, when all is said and done, with this sense of being a ghost, of being unreal, of being adrift and afloat and aloft, of not really knowing how to be here now. You know, in the modern verbiage of a lot of New Age circles and spirituality and even mindfulness and psychotherapy nowadays, there's a lot of emphasis placed on being present, of being rather than doing. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you know how much I value that mentality and how useful it is and healing it has been for me. But I do very much struggle with knowing how to be. I think in one of Eckhart Tolle's books, he says, the mind immediately jumps in and says, being, what do you do with that? And that is so true in my experience. The mind definitely wants to know what I'm meant to be doing with my being, with my presence, as if it has to be juiced somehow, squeezed, value extracted from it, or made into something, made into some sort of transformative experience even. And a lot of people may feel this way, but it is especially difficult for those that have depersonalisation and derealisation. Because the wisdom is often to go to the body, to go to your sensations. But for the true neurotic, the mind is so hyperactive that it will overanalyze and overassess even the felt sense, even the senses, perception. Everything will be questioned and interrogated and combed through and nitpicked. There will always be the mind that comes in to ask, yes, I know that I am feeling the breath, but what is the breath? Is it real? It seems as if the mind puts up a big screen, a big filter for the body to even be felt through. It's like the neurotic has been completely disconnected from their body, and that somatic journey has been very difficult for me, but one I continue to be steadfast in. My intuition is that it really does come down to the mind being the problem. That the mind puts up all these barriers to our feelings. And my intuition feels true because, well, for one, it feels true, and I should pay attention to that. Just that it feels true, that's the point of intuition, isn't it? But if I am to justify it with my mind, as I am wont to do, I will say that it makes sense because, and I'm losing my train of thought here and I'm becoming especially aware of that, and now aware of the camera filming me having this moment, this lapse of cognition, trying to own it, but aware that I am falling short of following through with the point I was trying to make to you, dear audience. I apologize. Let me try to show you what it's like for a human being to root themselves in their experience, regulate themselves, and return to their train of thought. I may have to cut here and resume. I'm tempted to leave this in just as a expose. This is a great example of exactly what I was talking about. What's just occurred here you've just witnessed it, is the sense of not being real completely taking me out of what I was talking about and overwhelming me with mental fog and this is really interesting. I'm going to stay with this, and I want you to witness it if you're still hanging around and have the patience for it, because I think this is really important to showcase, to demonstrate. This feels exceptionally vulnerable, and of course that is creating a lot more mental fog, but it nonetheless might be interesting just to see where this goes. We were talking about authenticity at the beginning, weren't we? So here it is. I am at a loss for words. The mind has shut down. There we go. I think I've got it. As soon as I admitted that and allowed that, it came back. Okay, so, and case in point. Every thought with the mind as a barrier coming in originates from a feeling. And my intuition tells me that indeed the mind is the quote-unquote problem here. That what it's doing is it's trying to come in and prevent me from feeling my feelings fully. It is trying to screen everything and assess it as a threat to see if its analysis can shed light upon any demons that might be lurking in the shadows. And so it overanalyzes everything. My sense perceptions, my thoughts, my feelings, everything, even the felt sense in my body. It gaslights me out of my own direct, immediate experience. It sucks me out of the body and up into the head in an attempt to protect me. And so I've learnt to become aware when that happens and to say, thank you, mind, for trying to protect me. But it's okay. You are allowed to feel the feelings. You are safe now to be able to feel them fully. You're no longer going to be shamed for feeling what you feel. You're allowed to feel what you feel, and what you feel is real. That's the most important truth. What you feel is real. What you feel is real. It took me a really long time to be okay with that. To believe that, to believe that what I felt, whatever it was real. Well, I hope maybe I've done the whole show don't tell thing here, and being authentic with you and taking you on this small journey of showcasing what it's like for someone to go through that little lapse through depersonalisation. And that might have been a little bit more successful than just me prattling on about it with my mind. Case in point, I felt my feelings with you. So, thank you for watching if you've watched to this point. I hope. I hope that's generated something in you that's enabled you to feel your feelings. That's what it's all about. And if you are feeling your feelings, know that they are real. They're real, whatever they are. It doesn't matter how they came to be. It doesn't matter where they came from or where they might lead. Your feelings are real. My feelings are real. Let's all just feel together.